I think you went to New York, it's been like 6 months, am I right?
I was in New York in March. So it has been, I think, March, April, May, June, 4 months, about 4 months.
4 months. And we had already talked about this before, but I have to ask it here anyway, because my followers weren't hearing that part. So, how did you decide to go to New York? How did you decide to go to the United States? And why pick this specific city in this specific date? How did things work out?
Well, so I think maybe it would be nice to mention that I lived in the US 10 years ago when I was a teenager. So that's where I learned English, by the way. So I lived there from 12 to 15 years old. And I lived in Kearney, New Jersey, which is a town that is very close to New York. So that was basically, a very strong influence for me to choose New York to go. And the date was basically because of the conference that I went to. So I got a paper that was an abstract that was accepted to be presented at the ACC, American College of Cardiology, and there was a World Congress of Cardiology that was, together with the ACC in March, in the beginning of March. So basically, that's why I wanted to find something close to New York, close to New Jersey, and it needed to be close to the conference so that I would make just one trip and I wouldn't have to go and then come back. So basically, I wanted to go to the ACC, the ACC conference, um, and also have something after it just so I would make the trip count, kind of like that. So I wanted something in March so I wouldn't spend, tons of money with the visa, with the documents, with the, plane ticket and everything, just to go and stay for 3 days. So I was like, I need to find something in March just so I can make everything count. So that was basically why I went in March, and that's why I went to New York, basically.
Just to make an addendum here, the American College of Cardiologists was in New Orleans, so it's close to New
Yes.
York, based on
No.
the point of view of someone that's coming from Brazil.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in the
Yes,
same
that's
country.
true. That's true. Well, for us, a 3 hour plane ride is not that long, but it is a long trip. Like for Brazilians, not that much because we have pretty much a continental country. We're very big. But yeah, it was really, it was a long flight, but I just wanted to stay in the US for longer. Let's put it like that. But New Orleans is very, far away from New York.
Stephanie is making my work here extremely easy because she posts a lot on Instagram, so I will have plenty plethora of pictures to illustrate her talk with later. There's plenty
Yeah.
of pictures both from New York and from Genova. I barely don't even have to ask her to provide me pictures. I'll just rip it off her Instagram.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely, yes.
So, how did you actually manage to go to there, to go to New York, and to go in the condition of a medical student? Because I believe this is one of the most important points. I have some experience myself. When I was in university, I studied at the Federal University of the State of Rio de Janeiro. I also tried to spend like a semester, 6 months in the United States, do a hands-on experience there. And my university pretty much told we have a memorandum of understanding with the University of Michigan. And if you want to have an accredited experience, you have to go there. And then I contacted the University of Michigan, and they were like, well, yeah, we had a memorandum of experience, of understanding, which expired 5 years ago.
Oh my God.
And this is extremely common. I've seen this kind
Yeah.
of experience very often, and I've
Yeah.
checked many websites for different universities and different hospitals, and it's not rare to see, for example, people ask for 1 year of prior 1 year of prior notice for you to apply
Mhm.
12 months before actually going, for example. So I believe this is one of the hardest parts. Going to the United States is not as hard. Going to the United States as a physician, as a medical student, is extremely hard.
Yeah. So basically, I'm going to start off by saying this is very, very personal. So each person that you talk will have had probably a different experience with this because we have many ways to get a clerkship or an observership in the US. The most common way and the most, how can I say this, regular way would be to go to the university's website, go to the hospital's website, apply. So there will probably be an application area where you can apply. Some of them will ask you for tuition, documentation, maybe in an application process that is long and, you know, and it's not impossible to get something like that. It's not impossible to get an opportunity like that. You can basically send emails to 50, 100, 200 doctors and get one reply back, but it is possible. Even before I got this opportunity, I had tried other opportunities, not in New York, but in Boston. And I got one reply back. I just couldn't go to Boston. First of all, because they couldn't have me on those dates, so they couldn't have me in March, and also because I didn't have anywhere to stay. So it was easier for me to go to New York because I had a place to stay. Um, but yeah, basically, you can get an opportunity like this through email, and then you don't have to pay a tuition or go through the other processes. But it is a little bit harder, I would say. But you could try because it's totally worth it.
And how did your university back here in Brazil regard it? If I'm not mistaken, you went there, but it was not technically part of your study. It was more like a research experience.
Yes, it was a research experience. And back in Brazil, I was in surgery. My rotation was in surgery. So basically, I had to talk to my university and ask them to accept it as valid hours here in Brazil, which is also a very personal situation because some universities will not accept this. My university accepted it, maybe because of the good relationship that I have with, everyone in there. They knew that I was going to a great opportunity. They knew that I was going to improve my connections, my networking, and they decided to let me go and count my hours as part of my curriculum. And also when I got back, and it was a shorter time. And when I got back, it was a very short time. It was just 4 weeks. And when I got back, I went straight back into my regular rotations. So it was basically, personally, it was possible for me, but I don't think I can give you guys, whoever is watching, a guarantee that your university will accept this. It's very personal.
So perhaps we could go first to the United States and then to Italy, or perhaps we could do them both at the same time.